Tata Trusts.
Thank you everyone for coming here this morning. As Vale said, this is the launch of the India Justice Report, and we are very happy and proud to be launching it. Someone the other day, a journalist colleague asked me that why is a business house, the Tatas, doing a report on justice. So firstly, I qualified to him and to you here that we are the Tata Trusts, and we have been working for the last 125 years. Jamshedji Tata himself founded the first trust, and we work on issues of social development to improve the quality of life, especially for the poorest and most marginalized in very hard to reach areas of the country. And our focus has been on health, from cancer to malnutrition and education, as well as livelihoods, both rural and urban, as well as a host of other issues. And when we look at it, the rule of law and justice affects the country as a whole, both the economic and social development. So the fact that we do not have a functioning, efficient justice system affects our development as a whole, and importantly, it affects each and every one of us as citizens. So, and yet we don't really talk about it. There's a lot of talk about health, education, infrastructure, but we as citizens, if something happens to us, whether it's that we get a burglary, or we lose our jobs unfairly, or unfortunately there's an issue of violence, we need recourse of a functioning justice system. And whether it's the police, whether it's legal representation, judiciary, there's been much talk. We know that there are about 30 million cases pending in courts. The justice system is not delivering effectively enough for citizens of India.
I would request our chief guest and our patron, Justice Lokur, to give the opening remarks.
First time that the various stakeholders in the justice delivery system, they've been looked at dispassionately, impartially, as a combination of everything that goes into the justice delivery system. So far, we've had reports, and many of them, with regard to justice delivery, looked at from the point of view of the judiciary, or looked at from the point of view of lawyers, or looked at from the point of view of litigants. So it's only one compartment. We've had reports with regard to police, police reforms, what should be done. We've had reports given by Common Cause with regard to police also. We've had reports on prisons, again in a sort of a compartment of its own. Mullah committee and all kinds of several committees on this. The model prison manual, for example. Legal aid, NALSA keeps coming out with their annual reports, and again they're focused on legal aid. But actually all these four pillars, which is what is described in the India Justice Report, all these four pillars need to come together, and that's when the justice delivery system gets activated. You can't have a justice delivery system without the police, for example, or without legal aid lawyers, or without prisons. So the idea that Mr. Rajiv Kumar said that earlier everything was in a sort of a silo, I think that barrier has now been broken, and that is why I think it is very, very significant that this report has been prepared by Tata Trusts and by the others assisting them. Now, what about the future? How does one look at the future starting from this report? You have some baseline data. There are some gaps, and one of the reasons for the gaps is because the information was either not available, or if it was available, it was not forthcoming. How do you improve a system, whether it is the justice delivery system composite or whether it is segregated, if you don't have all the information? So actually you need all the information, and only then can you think of trying to improve a particular system. And I think this, the baseline that has been set now will be of immense use so far as the future is concerned. One of the aspects that has been taken care of is the trends over the last 5 years. So that gives an idea of what has been happening in some of these areas like prison reforms, police, and so on and so forth. But that by itself is something which gives us an idea of what has been happening. But the future is about what should be done. And I think if you go through the report, or if the policy makers go through the report, they will realize that there are certain gaps which need to be filled up. The idea of the report is not to say that, well, one particular state is the best so far as justice delivery system is concerned. That's not the idea. The idea is related to the capacity to deliver justice and not on the quality of justice that is being delivered. So if there is a shortfall, for example, in some state with regard to legal aid, what can be done to remove those shortfalls? What can be done to improve availability of legal aid? If there's a problem with regard to prisons, what is it that can be done? So even though this report says that Maharashtra is the best in terms of capacity, it's about 5.92 or something, less than 6. It is not number one in any one of these 4 pillars. That is important. Now, why to me it's a little disconcerting is that the average, happens to be the best. That's not good. We need to have the best as the best, not the average as the best. And all the others, of course, are somewhat below average. So really, one has to study this report. The policy makers, the decision makers have to study the report and find out what is it that is missing, what is it that can be improved, and take decisions on how to make those improvements. I think that is the significance of this report if you look at it from a holistic point of view. So I would like to congratulate everybody for the efforts that they have put in. The report, of course, deals with 4 pillars. Those will be discussed. It deals with some filters, such as budgets. Budgeting, I can tell you, so far as the judiciary is concerned, it's a huge challenge. There's a problem year after year. But from this report, you will find that it's not only the judiciary that is facing a problem, there are several other pillars also that are facing a problem. The report has also given some 7 nudges, which I think we can start right now to improve the justice delivery system across all the 4 pillars. So thank you very much, and all the best to all of you.
मुस्कुराती रही।
Hello, bhai.